Have you ever wondered why we do what we do? Why are some habits so hard to break while others seem almost second nature? Today, we're diving into the world of habits with Charles Duhigg's enlightening book, The Power of Habit. This riveting exploration takes us deep into the science behind our habits, how they're formed, and the tremendous impact they have on our lives. Duhigg introduces us to the mesmerizing universe of neurological mechanisms that underpin our everyday routines, shining a light on why habits are such potent forces in our lives. The book goes beyond just explaining habits. It also provides a blueprint for how we can change them to improve our personal and professional performance. By understanding the complex interplay between cue, routine, and reward, we can start to manipulate these elements, breaking bad habits and forming new, positive ones. Understanding the power of habits can truly transform our lives. Let's dive deeper. Imagine a loop that controls your actions. Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, it's not. It's the habit loop. Let's dive deeper into this intriguing concept. The habit loop is a three-part process that our brains go through, almost like clockwork. It starts with a cue, something that triggers our brain to go into automatic mode and informs it which habit to use. This could be anything from a location, time of day, emotional state, or even the company of particular people. Next in line is the routine. This is the behavior that follows the cue. It can be physical, mental, or emotional. For instance, you might choose to go for a run, physical, read a book, mental, or vent to a friend, emotional, after a stressful day at work. The final part of the loop is the reward. This is what helps your brain figure out if this particular loop is worth remembering for the future. The reward can be the feeling of accomplishment after a run, the knowledge gained from reading, or the relief of sharing your stress. The habit loop is a cycle that our brains repeat over and over again, with each repetition strengthening the habit. The more we repeat a habit, the more ingrained it becomes in our brains, and the harder it becomes to break. By understanding this loop, we can gain control over our habits. The power is in our hands to shape our habits and in turn shape our lives. Changing habits is no easy feat, but there's one rule that can make this task less daunting: the golden rule of habit change. This rule is a game changer, a key to unlock the door to a better you. It's straightforward. Keep the old cue, keep the old reward, but change the routine. To illustrate, let's consider the story of a habitual smoker. The cue is stress, the routine is smoking, and the reward is the relief it brings. To break this habit, the routine of smoking needs to be replaced. Maybe it's replaced with a walk around the block or a few minutes of deep breathing. The stress cue remains, the relief reward is still there, but the harmful routine is swapped for a healthier one. Organizations, too, have leveraged this rule. Take a company struggling with low employee morale. The cue might be a challenging workday, the routine a complaint session, the reward venting. By changing the routine to a constructive feedback session, the company transformed a negative habit into a positive one. Keep the old cue and the old reward, but change the routine. That's the secret. Willpower is a finite resource. So how can we make lasting changes? The answer lies in keystone habits. Now let's talk about willpower. It's like fuel in your car. You can only go so far on a single tank. If you've ever tried to power through a day on little sleep or stick to a diet while everyone else is gorging on pizza, you know exactly what I mean. Your willpower can exhaust itself, leaving you feeling drained. But there's a way to circumvent this energy drain. Habits. Habits are automatic behaviors that don't require conscious thought, thus saving you mental energy. They are your brain's way of conserving fuel. This is where the concept of keystone habits comes in. These are habits that, once established, can kickstart a chain reaction, changing other habits as they move through our lives. Imagine, for instance, making your bed every morning. This simple habit can be a keystone habit. It's a small win at the start of your day, setting a productive tone. It might lead to better personal discipline, a tidier living environment, and even improved budgeting skills. This single habit, seemingly insignificant on its own, can ripple out to other areas of your life. So instead of exhausting your willpower on a host of changes, focus on cultivating a few key habits. These keystone habits could be your stepping stones to wider transformations. Focus on the right habits, and the rest will follow. Habits aren't just personal. They shape our organizations and societies too. When it comes to organizations, habits play a pivotal role in shaping culture, driving productivity, and ultimately determining success. For instance, companies that encourage habits of collaboration and innovation often foster a culture that values creativity and teamwork. These habits, established through repeated cues, routines, and rewards, can significantly influence the overall performance and success of the organization. But it's not just about instilling positive habits. It's equally important for organizations to recognize and address unproductive or harmful habits. Remember the golden rule of habit change. Keep the old cue, keep the old reward, but change the routine. By understanding the habit loop and applying this rule, organizations can successfully transform detrimental habits into beneficial ones, improving overall performance and employee satisfaction. On a larger scale, habits also drive social movements and cultural shifts. Social habits, those shared behaviors that are collectively reinforced within a group or community, can spread through social networks like wildfire, sparking significant change. Take, for example, the civil rights movement in the United States. It was not just driven by charismatic leaders or powerful speeches, but by ingrained social habits. The habit of gathering at churches, the habit of peaceful protest, the habit of standing together in the face of adversity. These were the social habits that fueled the movement and ultimately led to significant cultural shifts. So whether it's in an organization or on a societal level, understanding and harnessing the power of habits can be transformative. By recognizing the cues and rewards that drive our routines, we can intentionally shape our habits to foster a positive culture, increase productivity, and drive large-scale change. The power of habits extends far beyond individual actions. They can transform our world.